Welcome back, beautiful people. So in this video we'll be sewing this corset, and the drafting video is already up. If you haven't seen that, do well to check it out. So these are our patterns that we drafted. So for this tutorial I won't be making use of the yoke, so I went ahead to put that aside. And these are the materials that we'll be needing for this video. The first thing we need is, of course, is our pattern already drafted, the back pattern, front pattern, and the cup. Guys, like I said earlier, you can check out the drafting video. So we'll also make use of boning. I have two types of boning here: Regline boning. I have 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch wideness, and then I have plastic boning, 1/4 inch wideness as well. So we're going to be making use of the two of them. And then we have our lining piece and of course our main fabric. We also have a stay and breast pad. So this is the medium thickness and it is the fusible one. That is the one that has gum on one side, heat activated gum, as you can see. So yes, these are the materials that we're going to be making use of. So the first thing I went ahead to do was to just cut out on my fabric with my pattern. I left 1/2 inch on the middle parts and 1 inch on the sides. So I left 1/2 inch all around the cup pieces, and then 1 inch on the sides of the main bodies and the bottom of the bodies, as you can see here. So I also went ahead to cut out the same thing on my lining. I cut out the same measurement just like you see here. I cut it out with my lining and my main fabric, guys. And then I will go ahead to iron my stay on every piece of this fabric, both the lining and the main fabric, also the cup pieces, because I want my fabric to be, stable enough. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what I have. These are the pieces. I'm just showing them to you. And then I'm going to be working on my cup pieces. So I'm taking both the main fabric as well and the lining piece, and I'm just, arranging it here. It can get a bit confusing. So please have your pattern handy so that you can use it to know which side goes where. Now I'm just cutting my breast pad, and as you can see on the sides, I cut exactly where the measurement is, but on the center, the part that will be joined, I left 1/2 inch sewing allowance there. I will zoom in now so that you can see how I placed it on my fabric. So this is how I placed it on my fabric. I left space every other place except the joining part. And now I did that on both my main fabric and my lining piece as well. Now I'm just arranging my cups in a way so that I will have both right sides together, and then I'll go ahead and join them. So after joining my cups, this is what we have, guys. I know you'll be wondering, why are we using breast pad on the lining piece as well? Well, we want a very steady cup, so that's why we are doing that, since we won't be using bust caging. Now I'm just placing my front piece and my back pieces, right sides facing each other like so, and then I'm going to sew, consuming the 1 inch sewing allowance that I left on the side. And this is what we have. You want to go ahead and iron this seam open, because corseting and ironing work hand in hand. It is a major part of, forming your pattern, your curve, It's just a major part of sewing. So please endeavor to iron as you go. Now, on the ironed part, the place I ironed open, I'm going to take my 1/2 inch Regline boning, and I'm just going to sew it on the stitch. Just place it the way you see me doing, but please ensure to come down by 3/4 inch or 1 inch on both sides, so that when you turn your fabric, it won't be, poking the skin. I didn't do that, but I later corrected it in the video. So I've gone ahead to sew it just the way you see me doing. You can skip this step. It is not compulsory, but I just do that to give it, extra stability. Now these are my bias strips that I've gone ahead to iron and folded as well. So I'm just going to place that, you see, on the side stitch. Make sure anywhere, any placement you are doing, make sure you place on the side stitches first to cover the stitches that you made from the back. So I'm just placing this on top. You know, corseting has so many different ways and different methods of achieving different results. So just do what works for you. Take your time, learn and unlearn different processes. Now I'm just marking how I want my boning casings to be. This time around, you can get creative. You can mark straight lines, slanted lines. You know, you can create designs of your choice, style lines. However you decide to place it, just be creative. So I went ahead to mark the lines on where I want my corsets, the boning channel, to be, and I've gone ahead to sew the boning channels. As you can see, I use the same fabric, so it is not super visible. So now I'm going ahead to fold it into two, and I'm just going to trim that part off because as you can see, it's not straight. So I just want to, you know, trim it off like so. And after doing that, we're going to go to our ironing table and iron our cups that I joined earlier. So I'm just ironing this. I'm using my breast ball. That one is, you know, I made that one myself. If you have a professional one, please feel free to use it. So I'm just ironing this out to get the curve right. And now I'm just going to join my cups to the main bodies and do the same thing for the lining. So I've gone ahead to join it. I misplaced the other clips of me showing you how to attach these loops, but if you want me to show you a different video, feel free to let me know in the comment section. But I've gone ahead to attach my loops for the lacing at the back, as you can see, and I've joined my cups. So I will just go ahead and introduce the lining piece now. So I'll bring my lining piece, place them right sides facing each other like so. I place them right sides facing each other, and then I will just pin down accurately. Let the darts match, let the side joinings match like so, and then I will sew across the top and the sides. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just watch what I'm doing, guys. So this is what I have after pinning. So I'll just take to my sewing machine now and sew across like this with 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Remember, we left 1/2 inch on top and 1/2 inch at the back, 1 inch on the sides and 1 inch down. Now I've gone ahead to sew. I'm just making notches around so that it will lay flatly when I turn it over. After making the notches, now I will close the sides with 1/2 inch as well. So I've done that, and this is what we have. So if I'm turning this inside out now, we can see what we have here. Beautiful, guys. So far so good. So what I'm going to go ahead to do now is to iron with my breast ball. So you see how I'm ironing the curve first, and then I'll iron the cup. This is so beautiful, guys. I can't help but say it out loud. So we're just ironing all around. Like I said, ironing is a major part of corseting. So after getting to this point now, you would want to introduce your boning, and you also need to make use of your lighter. So when you measure, make sure you burn the top, make sure you burn the top of the bone so that it's not sharp. You melt it down and just curve it, and then you burn the bottom too after cutting so that it doesn't poke the skin, because it can feel really, really uncomfortable if your boning is, you know, poking the skin through the fabric. So you just want to measure, cut, burn, measure, cut, burn, and keep repeating the process till you have fully boned your entire piece. And now I am done with that. So this is what we have, as you can see. So I'm going to iron again now that I've placed my boning. I'm just ironing quick iron, especially for the center part, because I want it to lay flat. Now I've already gone ahead to iron another strip of fabric that I'm going to use to close the ends. So I ironed the strip of fabric long enough to, close the end. And then before doing that, I will just top stitch so that my lining piece will not be moving from my fabric. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine. I'll top stitch it first. Then I will sew the bias strip, the right side of the bias strip facing the wrong side of my material. That's facing my lining. So that I will now turn it out from inside, as you can see. So I've gone ahead to sew it now, the right side of the bias facing the wrong side of the lining. And then I'm just trimming the sewing allowance that I have left there. I'm just trimming that, as you can see. So after trimming now, I'm just going to turn it over and bring it to the front. So you could decide to stitch on top at this point, a very neat top stitch, but I like to finish off with hemming gum. So I will just use like 4 to 5 layers of hemming gum, as you would see me doing later on in the video. You just bring this out, make sure you iron it so that it will be easier for it to stay. You iron it and then you use your hemming gum with it. So you see my hemming gum is already there. I'm just ironing this, bringing it to the front so it's easier for me to navigate. Using hemming gum just helps me ensure that I have a very neat finish. Please make sure you use thick hemming gum. Don't just use, you see that I folded it into 4. I folded it into 4 so that it is thick enough for what I'm using it for. And I'm shoving all 4 pieces into my fabric so that it can stay put. Because if you don't use enough, it's going to unravel with time. So just follow this step and you are going to have a very, very clean finishing. So guys, this is what we have. It is so beautiful, and if you follow this tutorial step by step, I assure you are going to have similar results. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that you will be the first to know each time I upload a new video, guys. I was just trying to show you that it can stand on its own because it is fully boned. Thank you, and see you in my next one. Bye.